So I've pretty much destroyed my bookshelves for this video. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do a book haul revisited video. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I've been sort of inspired by Lala from Books and Lala's monthly revisiting of her books and trying to read through things that she purchased 2 years ago. And I've also been inspired by Julie from Pages and Pens channel when she's been doing some book haul revisits and just talking about what she bought and if she's read it, if she's unhauled it, etc. So I thought I would do that today. I'm actually going to be revisiting my hauls from July and August 2016. So they were July 2016 was my very first month on BookTube, and it was my very first book haul, and I actually did 2 that month, which was yeah, not good. I'm pleased to say that there aren't too many on here that I have left unread. They've either been read, unhauled, or something else. Here I'm going to get straight into it. I'm not going to talk too much about the books. I'm just going to hold them up, say whether I read it, whether it's still on my shelf, whether it's not, and we'll go from there. And I think this is just going to be a way of keeping me accountable, because I do want to make sure I'm reading through the things that I've picked up. And while I'm not going to be throwing out or getting rid of any books that I haven't read in a year, because I think that's a little bit of a tough ask, I am going to be trying to read them within a reasonable period of time. So this will just highlight for me which books I've had sitting on my shelf for a while and which ones I need to get to pretty soon. I get to start off on a good note because I picked up these little motivation books from Kiki K that month, and there was Want to Work Smarter and Live Better, Want More Energy, Got What It Takes to Be a Great Leader, Want to Feel Calm and Confident, Are You Willing to Show Up and Live Your Best Life, and Want to Live a Life of Happiness, and I've read all 6 of those. I also had Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. I still haven't finished reading this, but again, when I picked this up the first time, I said it wasn't something I was going to be reading like a book. It was just something I was going to pick up when and whenever I needed to, and that's what this book is. So I'm not too worried about this one. This one is just one of those books that's there for when I need moments of inspiration. Then I had Lifetime Guarantees, which is a teaching reference book, which is at school, and I have read some of it and I haven't read other parts of it, but it's a textbook, so not designed to be read cover to cover, ever. Then I had Tandem, and I'll insert a picture here, and I can't remember the author's name, but I read it and I unhauled it. I also had Brother Band, which I didn't read, and I unhauled. I had Song in the Dark, which I read and unhauled. Art 2D2's Guide to Folding and Doodling, and I have read this. I read this the other week. Trouble Twisters, The Monster, which I didn't read and I unhauled because I had no interest in reading it. The Boy at the Top of the Mountain by John Boyne, I have read this book. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, which I have read. I also had Night Owls by Jen something or other. It'll be on the screen. I read this book and I unhauled it. I also picked up Red Queen, Glass Sword, and Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard. I have since unhauled every book in that series because I have read them and I am done with the series. So they're gone. The Magicians by Lev Grossman. This was one of those books where I liked it, couldn't stand the characters, but I really liked the story. So I've kept it around and I finished the series now. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I have read this one. And I Darken by Kirsten White. I actually picked up 2 copies of this month, so this is the one that I kept and I passed the other one along on to a friend. Threader by Rebecca Turner. I have read this one. I really enjoyed this. I also picked up Insurgent and Allegiant by Victoria Roth. I have since passed the entire series on to my mum because she really wants to read the books, so they're no longer here. I also picked up Illuminae, which is sitting on the shelf just over here, and I'm not pulling it out because it's behind a chair and behind a whole bunch of stuff, but it's there and I've read it. I picked up The Martian by Andy Weir, which I have read, and I'm pretty sure I read it the day that I picked it up anyway, and that I have lent out to a friend at the moment. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, which I have now read, so I'm super happy that I got to it. I also picked up all of the Throne of Glass series that was out at that point, which was Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, and The Assassin's Blade, and I've read all of them. Untamed by A.G. Howard, which is the short story collection for the Splintered series. I've read this. Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, which I have read. I also picked up City of Bones, which I read, didn't like, and unhauled. Sorry, Cassandra Clare fans, just not my thing. I also picked up A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury, which are right here, and I'm not pulling them out either. But you guys know I've read them already. I also picked up Eon and Iona by Alison Goodman. I have read both of these books and I enjoyed these as well. So now we're on to the August haul, and I picked up Disruption by Jessica Shervington, which I haven't read and I'm planning on reading this coming August. I also picked up Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I think I have passed this on to a friend because I don't actually plan on continuing the series. I really like the first book, but I don't really plan on continuing the books. So I've passed it along so someone else can enjoy it. I also picked up Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and I have read this and I enjoyed this immensely. The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. This took me quite a while to actually pick it up, but once I did, I absolutely adored it. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, which I have read. A Darker Shade of Magic, which is also over here. And I have read it, I have loved it, and you guys know my feelings about V.E. Schwab, so it's over here. It's just a little bit tricky to get out at the minute. And the last book from my July and August book hauls was the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. And this one was given to me by a friend, and it was her favourite book, and it was probably the first historical fiction book I've read in a very long time. So I have read it, I did enjoy it. So that was a total of 50 books, 5 of which I haven't read, only 1 of which I've kept, the other 4 I unhauled. And I unhauled a total of 13 books. Everything else is still on my shelf. So that's not bad. That's not bad for, you know, collecting so many books. I've really got to stop doing that. But if I'm reading it, is it really that bad? I don't know. I like books. It does highlight for me that the majority of what I buy, I'm reading, and I'm enjoying enough to keep. So that's a good thing. I've got 1 unread book to read, and I will do that in August, so happy about that. I'll leave a link to Julie and Lala's channels down below so you can check out their videos that are, you know, that inspired this particular video. Let me know, do you keep track of the books that you have bought and have read? How do you do that? What sort of things do you do to make sure that you're reading the things that you're buying? I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.